Hey everyone, I'm Kristen, the anxiety therapist, and today is part 2 in the 3-part video series I'm doing on attachment. So today I'm going to focus on attachment in relationships and how the 4 styles can sort of show up in a romantic relationship. So we're really just scratching the surface here. I'm going to give you an overview, but attachment theory is so complex and really interesting. So I would encourage you to explore more if any of this resonates with you. So first is the anxious-preoccupied attachment style. And this can be very challenging to manage in the context of a relationship. So these folks are sensitive and attuned to their partner's needs. However, they require constant reassurance and affection in order to feel safe as part of a romantic couple. So if this person is not validated, they may feel worried and stressed about the security of the relationship. And they often internalize what they perceive to be a lack of affection and intimacy as them being not quote unquote worthy of love. And so they have this really intense fear of rejection as a result. So in an attempt to avoid feeling abandoned, someone with this attachment style might be really clingy or hypervigilant or express a lot of jealousy in a relationship. And they can be overwhelmed by the idea of being alone. So they kind of do whatever is within their power to hold on to the relationship. And they sort of see their partner as the remedy to their emotional needs. The next style is avoidant-dismissive, and so these folks are typically independent, pretty self-directed, and tend to be a bit uncomfortable with emotional closeness and intimacy. So they come off as being really confident, in control of their lives, and self-assured. They're typically pretty successful and put a lot of energy into their careers rather than their relationships. And someone with this style might have a lot of friends and acquaintances and might be really fun to be around, but their connections tend to be more surface level, and they never really seek out emotional support from other people. So they tend to have these sort of walls or boundaries up to avoid intimacy and emotional closeness with others, which prevents them from experiencing deep and meaningful and fulfilling relationships. So if a relationship with someone with this attachment style starts to evolve into something deeper, an avoidant partner would typically close themselves off and kind of start to pull back, and might even look for some like petty or insignificant reasons to end a relationship. The third style is disorganized or fearful-avoidant. And so these folks view their partner as being unpredictable because what they experienced in childhood taught them that others can't be relied upon. So they constantly tend to be on edge because they believe that being rejected or hurt or disappointed is pretty much inevitable in a relationship. And so as a result of this, they tend to repeat the same unhealthy patterns in their adult romantic partnerships. So they want to be loved and they want to belong, but on the other hand, they're afraid to let anyone in, and they have a really intense fear that the people closest to them will hurt them. So they fear intimacy and they sort of avoid that closeness, which seems pretty similar to those with an avoidant attachment style. But the main difference here is that they actually want a relationship. So it's more fear-based, this sort of avoidance of intimacy. So they're really just expecting and waiting for that rejection and disappointment and hurt to come. And so they don't reject emotional intimacy, they're just really afraid of it. So people with this style continue to view the attachment figure, which is, again, originates in childhood and starts with a caregiver, that sort of gets transferred onto their partner, and they view them as being unpredictable. So they have trouble believing their partner will support and love them as they are. And this mindset can sort of turn into a form of self-sabotage, causing somebody to end a relationship prematurely or it might become a sort of self-fulfilling prophecy where this person expects and predicts that they're going to be rejected, even if there aren't any indicators or evidence of that. So this person might subconsciously start behaving in a way that will lead the other person to end the relationship and therefore fulfill that expectation. And so finally, we have the secure attachment. And these folks have the healthiest relationships. If someone has one of the first three attachment styles, then being in a relationship with someone with a secure attachment style can be really healing for them. So folks with a secure attachment style are able to regulate their emotions and feelings in a relationship. They have strong goal-oriented behavior when they're on their own. They have they're able to easily bond, open up to, and trust others. They know what their life is about and what purpose they want to fulfill. They're able to communicate their needs effectively. They're comfortable with that closeness and sort of mutual dependency and reciprocity. They actively seek out emotional support and give emotional support with their partner. They are comfortable being alone and use that time to explore. So if they're not with their partner, they don't feel that fear of abandonment or jealousy or anything like that. And then they have the capacity to reflect on how they are in the relationship and sort of what their role and contribution is. So I hope this gave you a little bit of insight into maybe what your attachment style is in your own relationship. And a lot of my clients have one of the first three styles, and so that's something that we work on together so that they can experience and form more meaningful and healthier relationships in their lives. So feel free to leave a comment or ask a question. Follow me on social media at Cathartic Space Counseling, and you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Anxiety Therapist. I hope you all have a great week, and I'll see you next time.